You, I think, do. My name is Brittany Moulton. I'm your field marketing specialist here in Northwest Florida. You are at Tool Time. This is actually our fourth Tool Time that we have done. If you want to catch the previous Tool Times, they're on Connie and I's YouTube channel that I will link in the chat. Well, and as well as this one. This one I'm recording and I will put it on the YouTube channel. So if for some reason you have to pop up, or if a client calls you and you got to go do some real estate business, please, by all means, take that call and it will be recorded, ready for you guys to watch at the end. Usually what happens is I stop the recording, it saves, it takes me about 30 minutes to get it on YouTube, and then it'll be available. So just keep that in mind. It's not a super fast process. So if you don't see it right away, it's because it's still loading. You have Connie Lewis, your manager extraordinaire for marketing, here joining me today. Connie, do you want to say a few words?
Well, I'll start out by saying I love Tool Time because I'm very mechanical. I'm so mechanical that when I took my aptitude test in high school for the Air Force, they wanted me to come and be an airplane mechanic. But I gently refused because I wanted to make sure the airplane stayed in the air.
That was very nice of you. I appreciate you looking out for everybody in the world, Connie, because that could have
There
been
you
a
go.
little dangerous. Well, normally Dennis pops on and says hi. I do have to remind you guys that we do have a listing contest going on currently. Kate Rossi has asked for us to get 700 listings till the end of the year. So I know that we were behind by 2 last week. I'm not sure how many we were behind or if we were ahead this week. So just keep that in mind. We are running a listing, just like we always are, but a contest in the sense of we are trying to be the best in the entire United States. And if we hit our number, then we're the best. And we know Northwest Florida is the best. That's why Debbie came back to Coldwell Banker, because we're the best. So before I get started, today's tool time is all about Prospect Square. We're going to talk about the different reports that we can pull in Prospect Square, along with the new newsletter that is located in Prospect Square. But I wanted to see if anyone had any pressing questions that have come up maybe during the weekend, or maybe they've watched a couple of my tool times and they have a question. Anybody got any questions? Open floor. Hi, Paige. I see you.
First time here.
Hi, Paige. Welcome. Well, we're happy to have you. Welcome to Tool Time with Brittany.
Okay, the mic's going off. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I will have to say, Connie, I think we need to invest in a tool belt for me, a little girly tool belt, so I can wear it during it and I can whip
Full
out
time.
my cell phone and my marketing tools and my flyers.
We'll find you a pink one when we go to Phoenix. How about that?
That sounds good. That sounds good. Okay, so if no
They
one
have
has,
them at Home Depot. Just saying.
we're gonna go. We're gonna go to Home Depot today, Paige, and I'm gonna
They
get
have it.
myself a tool belt, and it's gonna
Cool.
be. I'm gonna make it snazzy. So if nobody has any questions, then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna share my, well, there's chat. Let's see. Rebar Social Media Classes mentioned that their agency gave them a little folder of assets. Do we have that? I use Canva a lot. Amelia, have you been in brandSRV before? I know you wrote in the chat. My first tool time was actually about the social media assets that you have with Coldwell Banker, using brandSRV, how to download them and how to schedule them out on your Facebook. So I can link that in the, yes, hi.
I've used brandSRV. I find it not user friendly.
Okay.
I can download what I need for that and then upload them to Canva and make what I'm looking for. I just didn't know if there was like a little folder of, the CB Realty logo, stuff that you use often in creating what you do that you might be willing to share, just an easier way. So
I just basically what I did, Amelia, I can show you, I can share my screen. What I did was I actually just went into brandSRV and I grabbed all the logos that I use pretty frequently. And under my pictures, I just made a folder that has Coldwell Banker logos. So I have them here. So I use this white one a lot, and I use the stacked and the side by side. And then really what I did, to be honest with you, is I made a folder in Canva with our brand colors and the logo already loaded in. So anytime I open up Canva and I want to do something, I can just click. Do you want me to show you that really quick?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yep, I can do that. This is what this is about. So let me log into Canva real quick. And I'll show you what I did. So for instance, what I did was underneath brand here, and it is a pro version. You can add your logos. So I used to do a lot for Kara, and she was just on here, but I'm actually gonna hate me, but I'm deleting her logo right now. So I've loaded in the Caldwell Banker one here, and it pulled our color scheme by just using the logo. And then I also do a lot for my husband's church. So I have his. So if I'm, depending on what I'm creating, the colors are already loaded in and the logo's already loaded in. So if I wanted to go into Canva and let's just say I wanted to do a Facebook open house post. I just wanted to do something really, really quick. Oh, it's showing you mine. Let me go back to actual Canva. I created. Still doing that. Hold on one second. Let me go back. Come on, back. Okay. Why is it? Create design. Hello. Open house. We can go into here. Let's just say we wanted an invitation. An open house. It's going to pull in like their, open house designs, right? So you can go off of one of these, or you can obviously, it gives you a blank canvas to create one. Let's just pretend we liked this one. We just liked the creation. Underneath styles here, if I just click the Caldwell Banker one, it changes the colors already. So I don't have to worry about, and I can just shuffle them. I don't have to worry about pulling in all those colors. And then in my uploads, I already have all of our CB logos uploaded in Canva. And how I did that was I just created that folder, and then I can just drag and like I can literally just go, select, and then just drag them into Canva to use.
Have you ever talked about the QR code and how that's used, Brittany?
I haven't. That's a good. So what we were going to do is Prospect Square today, but I think maybe we should just pivot to Canva since I'm already in Canva and we're already talking about Canva. Is everybody okay with that? Thumbs up if you're good with Canva today. Yeah, I see head shaking. Thumbs up from Michelle. Okay, perfect. The logo adding is only for the pro paid version of Canva, correct? Otherwise, you can upload as needed, right? Yeah, Kelly, that's a good question. So to make it a brand, to make it so that like the colors are all standard, is a pro version, but you can always upload the logo and use it. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Debbie, did you have your hand up or were you just thumbs up in me?
I was doing thumbs up.
You're
Just
awesome.
hit the
Thank
one.
you. Okay, so let me keep going here. So we'll just work off of this open house flyer here just because I already have it here. So what I can do, Kelly, you had a really great question. So what I could do is if I didn't have the logo already in my styles, I can just pull, well, watch. Let me go back. Because I want to show Kelly because I think she has the free version. I want to show her that she can do the same thing. It's not as easy. It's not like 1, 2, 3. So let's go to open house. I know you guys do a lot of open houses. Open house invitation. So what I can do is I can choose the same layout or maybe a different layout. And instead of having all the colors already loaded in, we can get the colors from the logo. So I'll choose this luxury one because everybody likes luxury listings. So I would upload my logo in the uploads and I would just pull it into here. And let's just pretend I want to make the luxury open house. I'm going to delete this. Actually, I'm going to move this over because I'll use this box. I want to put the Caldwell Banker logo here, right? But I want this luxury open house to match this CB blue. I can click on the luxury open house, go to the A, and it's showing me my brand kit just because I've already uploaded in here and I have the paid version. But if you go to photo colors, it will also show you any other photos that you have on Canva, their colors. So it pulls in our CB blue color. So I can change the luxury open house to the CB blue, which is super awesome. So it already knows. Canva's that smart that it knows that those colors are in here. So you can just come in here and change, like if we want this line to be that other blue, I can just go down, and pull in that light blue. So now it's following the same colors as CB and you're staying on standards. And then the same thing here. So if I wanted to put like, call Brittany Moulton, put my email. And to Connie's point, I'm going to show you how to use a QR code here on Canva. And I wanted to change this to that blue again. I would just again highlight this. And if you've never been in Canva, this is looking a little foreign and I know I'm kind of skipping around, but it's a really great way to just create really awesome things in the click of a button. There's a free version and there's a paid version. So I'm working off the paid version, but you can use the free version to do pretty much anything that you need to do in here. If you find yourself using this program pretty frequently, like I'll tell you this, I live in Canva every day. I needed the pro version. Same with Connie. Connie has the pro version. But if it's only something you're going to use once in a while, then you might want to stick with the free and see how much you're using it. So I can go ahead and I can change, this to the color by using my color tool up here. Back to I can either go to my frequently used or back down to Caldwell Banker and choose a different one. And it's just going to change my coloring around. Maybe I want to increase the font size so people can see my name. Up here you have the font size. So if I increase it, that way it's better. So I probably wouldn't use the stacked logo, I'll be honest, in this creation just because there's not a lot of room and it's taking up a bulk of my room. So I might want to use the other one that I have. So let me go back in here, which is the side-by-side logo. This one, just because it's gonna take up less room. So I'm gonna highlight this, and you can either just come up here and like left click it and delete, or you can use this button, or you can just highlight it and hit delete on your keyboard to delete it. And then I'm going to click this one and I'm going to move this one in, and you can just change the size by grabbing the size, putting it in the middle, and it'll tell you, you can see it kind of tells you when you're in the middle and you can like gauge where you are with your lines. I'm going to use this one right here. And then if I want to replace this photo, because obviously this is not the house that I'm selling because we can tell it has hills, this is not Florida, I can highlight this and just hit delete. And then I can find one maybe that I'm going to use. I was just helping Sherry with a condo project. So we'll use her condo project. So I can either come here and I can, edit the picture by like editing out the rest of this water. So you just really see the highlight of the condo. But it's going to look a little funny and stretched if I do it that way. So I might want to like put it in a text box instead. So under elements, or not text box, a picture box, under elements, there's picture boxes that you can come in and you can drop them in that will help you with this. So if you scroll down, you have charts, tables, and frames. So I might want to do a frame to put this photo in. So I'm going to delete the photo and I'm going to go to see all. And I'm looking for a frame that's kind of tall. Maybe I want to do 2 photos instead, right? Maybe I want to do 2 photos of my open house instead of just the one. I can play around with this to see what this looks like. You can see it's not really fitting properly, so I might not want that one. So let's keep looking to see what my options are, or maybe I just need to get 2 of these rectangle boxes and put them on top of each other to really make it look the way I want it to look. So if I delete this and I find one of my rectangles, and I come in here, I can actually make this exact one. I can copy this. So if I just like Command or Control C, depending on if you have a PC, or left click and copy, and then hit paste, I can paste the exact same one here. And then I might want to make this like this. So now I have them on top of each other. You can see this one is a little bit longer than this one. So maybe I don't like that. Maybe I want to do a square, right? You get the gist. You're going to want to play around with this, but now I have 2 picture spots instead of 1, and I can come over to my uploads. So if you have a property that you're doing an open house with, you're going to have to upload it to your computer and find it in your computer into Canva. So I'm going to use this condo one just because I have a ton of pictures already. So I'm going to drop in this one right here. And then this one right here, I'm going to do this one. Drop it in there. And then if I double click on the image, I can actually move it so you can actually see the condo. And then I actually don't like that this one is behind. You can kind of see it. You can move this element to the front. So if we go to position, you can move it forward. So now it's in front of this, so it doesn't look as weird because it's only cutting off the sky versus the bottom of the condo, if that makes sense. So once I have like my pictures the way I want, if I click on this, you can see that it has a border. So it's got a border color around the picture. So I might want to change that to my CB blue so it pops a little bit more. Same with this one, my CB blue. So now I have two beautiful pictures of my condo, and I've got my luxury open house header. And then this one right here says some sort of realty invites you. I'm going to delete that text box, and I'm actually going to move the luxury open house over, kind of expand it a little bit. And I'm going to move my line. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move this down, and I'm going to show you how to put a QR code and also your picture if you wanted to put your picture on here. You know, if this was like a social media post, you're also going to want to put the date and the time, right? So this one says RSVP. I'm going to put RSVP to, instead of whoever this person is, I'm going to put my name, Brittany at, and then put my phone number. Well, I'll just leave it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a different color, right, to kind of stand out. Maybe you want to change it to that Coldwell Banker blue, so it's staying in that brand compliance. And then I'm going to put my picture here and a QR code. So you have two ways to do the QR code. QR code number 1, you can use our desk QR code generator that we talked about in the first tool time with Brittany, and that was under marketing. There's a QR code generator right here. Or you can use in Canva, there's a QR code generator here. So actually what I'm going to do, because a lot of my agents ask me what's the value of using your website on your listing concierge package, I'm going to put the QR code as the listing concierge website in here. So I'm going to pretend, I'm going to go into a listing concierge order that I have, and we'll just pretend they match. And I'm going to drop in that QR code. So when they scan it, they're going to go to that property website, and they're only going to find out about this condo. So I'm in Tom's right now. I'm just going to use his because I already have this open. And I'm going to go to his website he has. So with your, if you didn't know this, with your listing concierge, you have a website, a single property website. We publish this. I know it looks good. And I'm going to use that URL. So anytime they scan that URL, it's going to come to this beautiful website that's the listing concierge one that hosts this property. And it's only going to talk about this property, and it's going to be all about me. So if I hit view website, this is the link that I want to create the QR code. But you can see when you use Listing Concierge, you have this beautiful single property website that only has this property. So they can't like bounce off and go somewhere else and you lose the lead. It stays on this website. And at the bottom, you'll see it's got all of Tom's info. So if they need any more information, they can call him. But it's got the map, it's got all the overview, it's got the full gallery, the description, and then the featured property pictures. So I'm going to copy this, come over to Canva and paste that URL, and it'll generate a QR code for me. Simple as that. So I'm just going to drop that here. So now if they want to know for more information, so I might want to put a like a text box saying for more information of this property, scan here. So if I want to do that, I'm going to go to the text on the left, and I'm just going to hit a subheading, and I'm going to write for more information on this listing, click here. And obviously that doesn't look so good right like that. So I'm going to squish it down, and I'm going to take it to 2 different lines. Move this over. Doesn't need to be so big. I'm going to change the font a little bit shorter. There we go. Capitalize my 4. I'm going to change, oh, that says roar. Let's roar at the property. And I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to change my color to my blue. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come back into my elements, and instead of doing a frame, I'm going to find an arrow. So let's see. This arrow looks pretty good. It turned out white. You can see some of the elements that you get from over here. They're a color that you can't change, and some of them they are a color you can change. If you think that you want that element and you want to know if you can change that color, it will have the ability for you to change the color at the top left. If it's locked in, then you'll know, like this one right here, if I wanted to choose this one, you can see it will only let me edit the image. It won't let me change the color of the image. So to know if it has a color is up here at the left, it'll allow you to change the color. So maybe I want to make it smaller. And now I have an arrow pointing to my QR code. If you would like more information about the listing, click there. And I might want to bold this so it's a little bit more intense. But really, since we are posting this on social media, it would kind of be stupid for us to have a QR code on this one, just because most people that are looking at social media have their phone in their hand and they can't scan the QR code. When you want to use the QR code is if we were going to make a flyer for this open house, which we can do next. I can show you how to make a flyer and we can use this QR code. But really for social media, you probably wouldn't want to use a QR code. You would want to use the link so you could actually link them. So in your description, when you post it on Facebook, you would say, for more information about this beautiful listing, please click here. And you'd actually link the link. But I wanted to show you, because Connie brought up a really great point, how to use the QR code in your social media post if you wanted to, or in a flyer. Again, I wanted to show you a couple things on this, and then I'll take questions and I'll move on to an actual flyer. If I wanted to add my picture, so I'm going to delete my QR code just because I'm not going to use it on this. But if I wanted to add my picture, I can here. So maybe I wanted to add an element, like a photo frame again, for my picture. Maybe this time instead of a square, I want to use a circle. I'll use a circle. And I can put my photo in here. Again, you're going to have to upload it to your Canva right here. So I'm just going to find the first agent that I see. So if it's you, it's Shane. So if Shane's on here, sorry, Shane, I'm using you as an example. So I can add Shane's photo. A couple cool things that you can use for Canva, if you have Canva Pro, is if I wanted Shane to have no background, maybe you have a picture that has a background. Let me find one, a good example. Okay, I'm going to use Lexi's. So like Lexi has a pretty background. It's got a lot, it's really pretty in the background, but maybe it's just a little busy and we don't want everything behind her. One of the pro versions that you have with cameras, you can remove her background and it'll just be her head. So if I go to edit image, again, this is a pro feature. You can remove the background by clicking background remover. It takes a minute, but it's going to remove Lexi's background. So it's just her head instead of her head in the background. And again, some agents care, some agents don't care. You know, depending upon who you are, you might want a background remover. There's certain things that you might want to remove a background for. If not, if it's not a biggie for you, then, you know, the free version is good. Some other things, if you go to elements, you can tell there are some elements, like if we do the arrow again, that if I hover over, they're pros. Like this is a pro, this is a pro. So it'll show you that, you know, some things are pro, some things are free, but there are a lot of free stuff to do in Canva. And again, like I said, if you're not using this frequently and you're just getting in here, it might be good for you to, you know, sit here and just try it out. We forgot the time on this, so let me go ahead and put a time box. So I'm going to go back to my text box and hit add subheading. And I'm going to do Saturday, 1 to 3 p.m. And I want to make this really big because that needs to be focal. So I'm going to put that here. And I'm going to add, oops, I did also, I did the 1 to 3. Perfect. Okay, so Saturday 1 to 3. I want to change my color to my CB blue, and I might want to change my font to match my other fonts. So I can come here to fonts. Same thing with fonts. There's free fonts, and then there's also, if you see the little crown, it means that it's a pro user only. So just keep that in mind. There are some fonts that are also pro. So I'm just going to keep it Saturday 1 to 3. So if I like the way that this looks and I'm ready to download it, all I would need to do is come up here to share, and I would just scroll down and hit download. For social media, you can either download a PNG or a JPEG. Just depends on, I like PNG because it just has a little bit more of a clear picture in my opinion, but that's my creative opinion. JPEGs work just fine too. Some people can't open PNGs. So I would say you're probably safest with a JPEG. If you're doing anything for like an outside advertiser and they need your like an ad, you're creating your own ad. Number one, make sure that you get it approved by Connie and I, because I already forgot something on here. I forgot our disclaimer on here that I'm gonna have to go back and put. But a lot of us just don't think about putting the disclaimer. You just want to make sure you have our disclaimer on there and that you're hitting the brand standard. But you would need to do a PDF print. So like if you're doing a VIP magazine or a Pensacola magazine ad, you would need the PDF print because it's the best. You're not going to really use SVG unless you're doing like a GIF. And then obviously you can use a GIF right here or a video. So going back to the disclaimer, anytime you have a property that you're featuring, it has to have our disclaimer. So it has to be owned by a subsidiary of Anywhere LLC on your ad. So you can put it really, 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 really tiny on the bottom here, but it's just got to be there. So we'll put owned. No, I didn't spell that word right. Hard to see because I have it on other. So there you go. Anywhere. And what I'm going to do is I am going to change it to the call anchor blue, and then I'm just going to make it really small. It has to be there. And it should be LLC, not LCC. And I like to center it underneath the logo. It's just got to be there, guys. That's just one thing. Just remember, if you're, making something, it's got to be there. Okay. And if you ever have any questions and you're creating anything in Canva here and you need, Connie or I to put some eyes on it, we can put some eyes on it. If you're branding just yourself, you really don't need the owned by a subsidiary of Anywhere LLC. It's really when you're featuring property, open houses, just listed, things like that, you have to have a disclaimer. If it was just like Lexi ad that just said call Lexi today, you wouldn't really need the logo. I mean, you would need the logo, but you wouldn't really need the disclaimer, but it's good practice just to always put it on everything so that you're staying in compliance, and it's just a good reminder. So once we have our ad the way that we like it, we'll hit that share button and we'll scroll down and hit download. And I'm going to download it in a PNG, and I would just hit download. You can print stuff from Canva. They have their own printing place that you can print. I don't suggest using it. I haven't used it before, but you can. And then you can see it downloaded right here. So I would just, come here and I would save it as, just like you would in brandSRV. So open house, social, yeah, post, just put Lexi. And then I would take it over to Facebook and I would post it onto Facebook. Before I move on to like an actual flyer or anything else in Canva, does anyone have any questions about how to create just a quick Facebook post? Stop sharing and come in here. No? Is everybody following? Awesome, awesome. Okay. Hopefully this is answering some of your questions. Amelia and Kelly, you as well. Hopefully it's answering some questions too. Okay, let me go back into sharing. One thing I want to show you, if I go back home to Canva, when you drop in here, basically it's going to say, what will you design today? So you can come in here and search all of Canva. It'll give you suggestions on what you might want to try. If I scroll down even more, it's got all of my recent designs. This is going to be my library of everything that I've ever designed in Canva here. And then you can also, on the left-hand side here, you can see you can create templates. So if you're on a team, we have a lot of our agents that are on a team. You can create templates for your team to share across, and you can also invite people to your team. So for instance, like the Blue Wave group has invited me to their team. Also Paige Brown. So I can see their items in Canva, so they can call me and say, hey, Brittany, can you take a look at the flyer I just created? Is it in marketing standards? And I can say yes or no. So that's a really cool feature that Canva has. And then also have projects, templates, brand. Content planner is a pro thing. I think we talked about this in my Canva class that I recorded on our YouTube, but you can actually plan out your content here and it'll tell you like International Pancake Day, World Animal Day, World Smile Day. So it'll give you some ideas on things to, create. It also has the ability to invite team members. So I can invite Connie to my team. So team is up to 5 people for no extra cost. If you have pro, if you have a team of 2 people, so I can add 3 people to my team for free. And then if you need more than 3 people, you can add them for $12.95 a month. So just keep that in mind when you're talking about Canva. I'm going to go back to the home page because I want to show you the templates that you have. Okay, so we can search Canva for all the content. So if I type in Canva real estate, it's going to show you all the different types of things that it already has that there's 26,000 templates. So you've got a Facebook post here. You've got a pretty video for your stories that you could come in here and edit. You've got flyers. There's like tons of good stuff in here that you can just come in here and kind of click on and create your own thing. Or again, like I said, you can create from scratch. If you're super creative and you don't need a template, I use templates a lot of times just to kind of for placement ideas. But we do have some agents that are super creative that love to do this stuff. And if you do, more power to you. You can create your own. But there's a ton of templates in here. And again, it's going to show you if it's a pro or if it's a free. I'm seeing a lot of free ones though. As I kind of scroll through here, these are pretty. These are pro. Let's find one for a flyer. See one that's interesting. And then I'm going to show you how to do it with the pro, because I just showed you how to do it with the free. I'm going to go back up to that one that I really liked. This one. Let's do this open house flyer right here. So I just click into it. Couple cool things with the pro as well is I can always resize it for free. So if you need a specific size, like a custom size, you can resize it super easily. That is a pro version. So again, if I have pro and I have my brand already loaded in here, all I need to go down to is my styles and click on my Coldwell Banker styles. I don't love how it didn't change a lot of it, so I'm going to shuffle it again until I kind of like the way the layout is. And like this isn't a good example because I don't like any of these. I would probably do this whole background as our CB color. And then I would change all of my text boxes to white to make it pop. So it's just coming in here and playing around with it. Again, same thing. These are all movable, all customizable for you to come in here to drop in pictures. This whole box, you can always zoom in if you can't see. And I can change all this to white. Just highlighted all of it. Did you see how I did that, guys? I just highlighted everything and I changed it to white. I'm going to want to come in here and put in all my information, add all of my pictures. But this is just a really great way for you guys if there is, if there's not anything in brandSRV that's really meeting your needs. I do highly encourage you, like for flyers like this, your listing concierge platform has beautiful flyers for you already created. You don't have to do any of this. It takes you 2 seconds by coming into your going to make me sign in again. Coming into your listing concierge platform, there are flyers and you can change the header to open house. So if you're trying to make an open house flyer like this, it's already made for you in listing concierge. You're just dropping your pictures in. Let me show you. Let me compare them just so you can see. It's really preference, and I know some people really like their Canva, and we're all about that. Connie and I encourage it. Just keep in mind you do need to stay in standards. So here's the flyer. They have multiple ones that you can choose from, right? With lots of pictures. Let's just choose this one real quick. I'm just toggling between both of them so you can kind of see, depending upon your needs. If you're already paying for listing concierge, they made a flyer for you already. You don't have to think about anything. It's got your photo, it pulls in our logo, it's got the disclaimer. Everything's good to go here. So just keep that in mind. Some people like this look better. Some people, want to do the listing concierge flyer and they want to send one out that they've done on Canva. That's totally up to you. Again, we support your Canva efforts. Just make sure we stay in brand compliance. I do want to show you that they have stock photos. So let's just pretend we wanted to do an open house flyer or a different flyer. Obviously, it wouldn't be open house. Maybe it was like a branding flyer. So call Brittany today. This is probably not what we would put as the headline, but we're going to go with it. And I wanted to find like pictures that I could put here that are stock. These are stock photos that you could use. Or if I wanted a different kitchen, I can actually type in kitchen and it'll have a ton of stock images. You're going to see there's some pro ones and then there's some free ones that you can use. And if you like it, you'll just drag it and drop it in. So if I wanted to do like a flyer of, you know, call Brittany today, it's just a branding flyer. And I wanted a beautiful kitchen and maybe I want a beautiful pool home. I mean, there are tons of stock photography in here, as well as you have tons of stock photography in brandSRV that you can download and bring to Canva to use. So just keep that in mind. You have a lot of great resources. This is a pretty Florida looking house. Maybe I want that one and I want this one. Then I want a nice bathroom. So I'll do a pretty bathroom here that kind of looks Florida-ish. Maybe I like this one better. So now I have a really pretty flyer, just kind of call Brittany today. And then I could add my photo here and I could add all the information that I want to, maybe my value prop. And then of course I'll need my contact information and I'll need the Coldwell Banker logo. So in this instance, I might want to do that uploads. I might want to do the white logo, right? Because there's a ton of different logos. If you go into brandSRV, just like Amelia was saying, we have the, you know, white one. Let's pull the white one over. Maybe I want to use this one because it kind of goes with the. I'm going to delete call Brittany today. Maybe I just want to put the CB logo at the top. And then here I'd put all my information. And this would be a good one for you to like, a lot of times, a lot of the agents, we used to have some really good flyers in InTouch that you could just kind of take and door knock with, and we really don't have those anymore. So this might be something good for you if you just wanted a branding element. You could come in here and you could just put, instead of about the property, about Brittany, and you can put a little bio here, right? And then you can put like all what you service. So like buyers. An idea, because I know that that's something I get asked all the time. It's just like a generic flyer. Sellers. Downsizers. I don't know why I can't type today. Probably because I'm not wearing my glasses and I should. Upsizers. Is that even a thing? Sizers. Right? So like all the people that you work with, new homeowners. VA people. I don't know. What do you say on your, you know what I mean? Like you guys know. Just trying to think of things that you might want to put on your flyer. Military, that would be VA people, but military, right? So then this would be, instead of our property features, who I can service. Really, you can service anyone, right? But if you just want to put that here, spelled that wrong. It's okay, whatever. We'll just leave it. So then I've got like about Brittany, and I would just put, you know, Brittany is the greatest realtor of Northwest Florida, right? Anyways, you know what I'm saying. So you put all your stuff here, and then I would want to probably put my picture down here, which I have somewhere in this monstrosity of all my stuff. Oh, let's be Michelle. I just saw Michelle. I know she's on the call. I want to be Michelle. She's so pretty. Okay. Then I would just put my little picture here. Make it fit in here, nice and pretty. And then for my website, I put my Moxie website, right? So it's like sell with Brittany.com. Then I've got my address to my office and then my phone number, right? Now I've just got a branded flyer that I could pass out, right? It's really pretty. It just talks about me. Obviously, you're not going to want to put I'm the best, the greatest realtor of Northwest Florida unless you want to. You might want to put some of your credentials or just your experience, you know, have 10 years of real estate experience working with, new homeowners or whatever you want to say, but you could just make a generic flyer to hand out. And you could print this at the office. So instead of downloading it when I hit the share, instead of downloading it as a JPEG or a PNG, I would do a PDF and I would download it, and you could print it at the office, and it's a nice flyer that you could walk around and do some door knocking with. I know our partners with GRA and Sunbelt also have some really great flyers that are just branding flyers. So if you need one and you can't, you don't want to create one, you can always come in, reach out to Kim with Sunbelt or Michelle with GRA, and they can help you do a branding flyer that you could pass out. But this is also an option to make an open house flyer. Couple other things I want to show you that you have the ability to do in Canva that a lot of people don't know. If you have a YouTube channel, you can make your YouTube thumbnails. YouTube thumbnails are basically what people see when they go to your video. So if you've ever been to anybody's, let me show you my YouTube channel because I'm going to want to link it to you guys. Let me click onto it really quick. YouTube. There we go. So you can see I have a thumbnail on all of mine. So instead of you seeing like the part of the video, I've created a thumbnail and I've uploaded it to my channel. So you have that ability in Canva, which is really nice. And there's ones already done that you can come in here and just edit. There's Facebook posts, there's Instagram posts, there's Facebook ads. Like the plethora in Canva is just like endless when it comes to what you can create and how you can create. So, just keep in mind, Canva is a great tool using in conjunction with our other tools. So you saw how I can pull in the listing concierge property URL to make a QR code if I was doing a flyer. You can also use brandSRV because brandSRV has a ton of good free photography. So if we go into brandSRV, there's free photos that you can pull in. So if you're using the free version of Canva and you're not finding what you're looking for, when you come into brandSRV under marketing assets, there's photography. There's a ton of stock photography. There's 1,111 images that you can come in here and pull in. So if there's nothing in Canva that you can find, there's some good stuff here in Call a Banker, and it's branded that you can come in here and download. Anybody have any questions about Canva or want me to go over anything specifically?
Brittany, I just wanted to say one more thing about brandSRV. Like if you are using the photography that they have, you'll have copyrights as long as the company has copyrights. But because you checked out through brandSRV, if a copyright is coming up and it's about to end, they'll be able to notify you to stop using that ad. So you won't have to worry about getting into any trouble. If you're not going to want to use an ad for 5 or 6 years, but occasionally we do have situations where we are still using images that have copyrights on them. And when it gets ready to expire, they'll let you know. So another way to keep you out of advertising jail.
Yeah, good call out, Connie. Thank you for that. And yeah, I just love that Canva works in conjunction with our tools, right? So being creative, using your listing concierge elements, because we should be using listing concierge on all our listings. And then also being able to pull in the brandSRV items. So Amelia, thank you so much for your question today, because I feel like that was a really great question to segue into a really great session. I know that everybody might have came thinking we were doing Prospect Square today, but we pivoted because we had a great question. I will plan to do Prospect Square next Monday in my tool time, so it makes you want to come back and see me. Dennis did pop on, so maybe you can give us an update of how we're doing on our listings for our goal. I didn't have the number.
It's not good.
Oh no.
Just kidding. We're a little shy, but not much. Just by a handful. I did want, I always lead it off. Uh-oh, I've got the evil eye of Dorothy watching after me. I got to be careful what I do and say. But I did want to ask Paige while she's on, do you know what kind of horse that a ghost rides? A nightmare. Okay. Sorry about that. No, hey, come on. Yeah, so we're doing good with listings. So, Kate gave us a challenge that we had, or she wanted us to be able to get 700 by the end of the year. And it seems like a pretty daunting task, to be quite honest with you. But that means we have to do about 58 a week. So it looks like, I just saw the updated numbers today. The first week we had 70. So we were above where we needed to be. And then this last week, unfortunately, we only had 30, a few more than 30. And so that means we were shy, but no, I'm sorry, 40. So we're a little bit shy from where we need to be, but we also, our system was down on late Thursday and Friday. So I'm thinking that there's probably some listings that were supposed to be put in that couldn't be put in. So I'm hoping we're going to make that up this week. But right now we're about 15% of the way where we need to be. Our next closest region is only at like 8%. So we're killing everybody. We're double on our way there. So I appreciate you guys doing that. As you know, got to get listings to live, and that's just how it is. And you guys are living well because you're killing it. So thanks. That's all for me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dennis, for the update. I was telling him about it because you weren't on when we first started, and I was like, Dennis is normally here to tell us all about it, so I'll tell
Yeah,
you
I was
all
in a
about
meeting.
it.
Sorry. I was in a meeting. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I just appreciate you supporting Tool Time. Amelia asked a great question in the chat. She said, speaking of staying out of advertising jail, is there a short list of what not to do, like adding the little disclaimer? I still consider myself new. Yes, I can send you that list. It actually gives you a disclaimer for each thing that you're doing. So I'll say like postcard, use this disclaimer. Social media posts, use this disclaimer. So I can send you, it's a one sheeter. It's actually in brandSRV, but I can send it to you and I will. I'll drop it in the chat here after we get off of Tool Time. So you guys can all have it here in the chat. And then I also linked the YouTube where this will be so that you guys can watch this if you had to step away for a second or if you just want to watch the replay. And there'll be all of my prior Tool Times as well. And we will do Prospect Square on Monday. Anyone else have any questions before I let you have a couple minutes back in your day? Got that, Debbie. I saw your. Yes, Miss Kathy Odell.
It's not really a question. It's you guys are doing such a great job keeping us informed on the tools. And I, as a manager, really appreciate that. So thank you, Connie and Brittany. You're both awesome.
Thank you. We love you. Thanks for the support.
Did y'all pay her to say that? Just checking.
$100.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, again, I will put that recording on YouTube. I'm going to stop it right now. I will see you on Monday for Prospect Square. In the meantime, you know where to reach me. If you have any questions, please call or text me or Connie. We're always here to assist you. If you have trouble with listing concierge, please, 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 please call me. I can help. I can fix it. I can log in as you. I can, just let me know if you have a hiccup. Like, I will fix it. I will call whoever I need to call. I want you guys to make sure that you're using that program, and it's just so valuable and so vital to you getting more listings so that we can meet that challenge. So enjoy the rest of your Monday, and I will see you next Monday.